I gave you advertising board in Times Square tomorrow, and you had to, in less than 10 words, post something that was going to be seen by millions of people around the world. What would those words be?
I would say don't be afraid to live an incredible life.
I like that.
Sometimes myself can be a little bit afraid of do new things or try new things, and sometimes I feel myself I could do more things, and why not? I mean, what to stick with a regular life or good life even if you can have an incredible one. So that's a good thing to aim for, I think.
Hi, welcome to Direct to Chile, a podcast where we to help you navigate the ins and outs of doing business in Chile. I'm your host, Amit. I have lived over 10 years in Chile. I hope to speak to industry experts, entrepreneurs, and really understand their story of how they navigated successfully or unsuccessfully their time in Chile. Today we have somebody who really helped me. The gentleman's name is Matías Barahona. He is the owner of Multivende. Matías, welcome to the show.
Hi, Amit. Thank you for having me.
I want to start, Matías, telling you why I contacted you. I don't know if it was 4 or 5 years ago. And maybe that'll help explain what Multivende is in my eyes. And then I'll let you give the proper explanation. So, about 4 years ago or 5 years ago, we were selling in Mercado Libre. We sell consumer electronics, so Apple products, Samsung, GoPro, JBL, etc. And I don't know what happened exactly because we had products in our website and we had it in Multivende. And for some reason, Mercado Libre sold extremely well, extremely fast, and we'd run out of products. And that's when I realized that synchronizing the inventory across multiple sales channels is going to be the key to actually scale our business. And I asked Mercado Libre, and they referred me to you and another competitor. And after a bit of due diligence, I decided to go with you. Now, in addition to synchronizing the inventory, Multivende allows me to have a different price list for different sales channels. Given that each sales channel has separate commissions and separate costs of shipping, I can't have the same pricing in all the channels. And Multivende also allows me to prepare the shipping labels immediately. So I keep track of the inventory, I keep track of the sales and the margins that I want, and it helps me with the actual shipping labels. So thanks to your product, we went from back then doing 1 to 1.5 million dollar sales to 2021 passing $14 million in sales. I obviously attribute part of that to COVID, not all to you, but
Yes, of
but
course.
but honestly, without Multivende, we could not have reached to where we were. So that's my definition of Multivende. But why don't you jump in and tell me what is Multivende in your eyes?
Sure, of course. Thank you, Amit, for the introduction. Well, actually, I founded Multivende almost maybe 6 years ago. So you were one of the first flagship clients, relevant when we already had some part of a product already built. And yes, what we do in Multivende is that we create technology to help merchants like you that has huge challenges for reaching their customers. Like if you sit on the customer side of the table, we are all really demanding. We want to buy whenever we want, wherever we want, at the prices that we expect are just for us and are fair for us. And that's hard for the merchant. I mean, you have to be everywhere. You have to be in Mercado Libre, in Amazon, in the future Walmart. You have to have your own Shopify store just to control more the experience of the customer. And if I'm a customer and I want to buy your products by, I don't know, Amazon, I want you to be there. If you're not there, I will go for your competitor. So that challenge is huge for everyone in the industry across all the industry of consumer goods, not only electronics but fashion, and everyone has the same problem. So what I did was a company that has only one product for now. It's multivende.com, where you can upload your catalog, you can connect the main sales channels in the region in Latin America, and then you can publish your products, synchronize the stock live. I mean, if someone buys you something in Amazon or in Mercado Libre, we will take that order, we will prepare it, and then just the technology, not the fulfillment, the technology to take that order and synchronize the stock everywhere. And as you said very, very well, also in the logistics, like every channel has different types of logistics, rules like SLAs. And in the platform that I created, and we created with my team, what happens is that you can do everything there in kind of a streamlined operation. So that's what Multivende does.
Got it. And can you give us an idea of where you are today in terms of scale? How many customers do you
Yeah.
have in Chile and
Yes.
other countries? How many brands do you manage? If any financial metrics you can share with us.
Yeah, sure. We started as a good startup with one client. Uh, we were very small by the time, but today we're growing a year after year. Every month we handle like 500,000 orders from our customers.
500,000.
Uh, yes, 500,000 orders from our customers in 4 countries. Yeah, like 7,000 brands. I mean, less companies, like 400 companies, but some of them are multi-brand, as Mobile Hut is. So over 7,000 brands uses Multivende, and that's it. We are 45 people. Half of them are like engineering and product. It's a hard business to be because it's technology for operations. That's not like always very, very hard. And the rest is like customer support and customer success, and the rest of the team is like finances, HR, and of course sales.
Got it.
That's it,
Can you share?
more or less.
Can you share customers like some big customers other than Mobile Hut,
Uh,
obviously?
of course, yeah. I think international brands that are easier for everyone who can listen this podcast to get is Tommy Hilfiger, Calvin Klein, Samsonite, DeWalt, Stanley Black and Decker. These are regional. They are global brands that operates some of the countries here in Latin America with Multivende.
Okay, great. And can you tell us a little bit about how did COVID affect your business? I know it quadrupled my sales, but what's your story and your experience with COVID?
COVID, first on the human side, it was not that bad for us. Like the team was okay. Sadly, some relatives were not that okay, but the core team was okay. But in the business, it was a huge leap forward. That's I think that's the way to say it. Like we were already a small team, we had a good product, and we were doing things in the best way we could. But COVID changed everything. I always remember I got this guy that we were talking for like a couple of months already to buy Multivenda and to use it in the company he was leading. And he was like, okay, we'll see the next quarter. Maybe I will jump into e-commerce. Like next time, I will talk to the directory, the advisory board, and etc. And the COVID like jumped in, and he calls me on a Saturday,
Yeah.
and he tells me, Matías, I'm so sorry that I called you on a Saturday, but I need to start selling everywhere on Monday. You tell me how
Wow.
much it costs, how to do it, what we should do, but I need to be up on Monday. So you can see that that was a general situation for
Got
the
it.
entire industry. So
So
it
the
was a
sales
change we,
cycle,
we
yeah,
yeah
the sales
shortened
cycle went from
really
months to
fast.
days.
Yes, really fast. And also it was the sales cycle, but also how especially like more senior management saw e-commerce. It wasn't like a trend. It wasn't anymore something like a maybe we should do because some guys in the US or in other countries are doing. It's like we have to do it to survive, and we have to do it to thrive, and that changed everything for our industry. You
Right.
were really like you saw it coming a few years earlier than your competitors and a lot of things because you started way after COVID, before
It
COVID. I'm
def-
sorry, you started way
it
before
def-
COVID. Yes.
yeah, I mean, it definitely helped. And to be honest with you, the cost of the rentals of the malls was just becoming unsustainable. So as traffic went from offline to online, and and the malls did not, they were stubborn. They didn't want to even listen. We went from 14 retail stores to today 2. My sales has gone up times 3, and I'm now doing it with 12 less physical stores. 12 less physical stores, we're talking about 50, 40 staff less. So, I mean, it's a no-brainer. So, I want to talk about the team. You mentioned, you have a good team. I personally find hiring competent, good value staff, I found it difficult in my 10 years in Chile. You, a fast growing SaaS software as a service technology company, I'm assuming that was also a struggle for you. How did you go about hiring talent? And can you tell us the issues you've had in that process?
It's been an issue, of course, as always. Like finding talent and retaining talent is an issue for every company, especially for small companies that are starting. I think it takes time, and also it takes you have to really focus on culture. It's hard in the beginning because you have to build from scratch a culture of of people who wants to do things, they are hands on and they want to go forward and they want to reach the goals. That's hard in the beginning, but once you have it, it's a little bit easier to keep because if you are an overachiever, you want to work with overachievers. You don't want to work with people who's lazy or who just works for the money. You want to work with people who is very, very good at what they do. So that's work in both ways, When someone new goes into the team and they see that people is committed and they want to do things, if they are not like that, they feel uncomfortable and they leave. And at the same time, when someone like that arrives, and they are not like fitting in with the team will be like, I'm not sure if I want to work with that guy, or girl. So yes, that's it. It was hard for me. I'm a software developer myself, so the technology part for me is easier to find and select people because I know what I'm talking about firsthand. Developers are really really hard to hire, but I think that when you have a good core of technology and you love technology, it will be easier to add some people in that team.
So you mentioned you're a developer. Are you still coding? Like, are you in charge? Are you the CTO of the company, or have you delegated that
No,
to other people?
I delegated that to sadly a couple of years ago. I loved development. I love to develop things. I'm doing like in my free time. I try to learn some things. I learn Python. I am learning a lot of AI in my scale. Just self learning by myself. But no, sadly, no. A couple of years ago, I stopped developing in Multivende because every time I did it, I just broke everything that the other people were doing in their own processes that I don't follow exactly anymore. So yes, I could now. I stay related to the product as a product as from the product side. Sadly,
Got
no
it.
technology. I hate it, but it's natural.
Got it. So I want to, you mentioned AI. I want to talk about that later on. I first want to understand the challenges of growing Multivende. Is the issue adding features fast enough compared to your competitors? Is the issue geographical expansion so that merchants like me can sell in other countries and other channels? What is the core, like what is your direction today?
I think one big challenge is that e-commerce goes really, really, really fast, especially marketplaces and also platforms as Shopify, VTEX, and BigCommerce, etc. They compete like fiercely in every segment, and that competition leads to a lot of innovation. So they compete a lot. You can see, for example, Mercado Libre. That's a really well-known case. They are a huge company, flagship in Latin America for sure, and they are shipping new things like futures, not packages, shipping new technology every quarter, and you have to be on top of that. Like you can't be this semester I will not handle that kind of logistics, for example. You can't say that because you can't leave your customers behind, and your customers also have to compete. So it's extremely difficult to keep up to every platform that are innovating really really fast. And that's part of the challenge and also part of the interesting part. You learn a lot every day and you do fun stuff all the time.
I spoke to Franklin, your CEO of Chile operations, to ask. I told him that when I'm having this podcast with you, and I asked him, "Give me the one question I should ask, the boss, Matías." And he said, "I'm going to first say it in Spanish, and then I'll translate it. Piensas en algunos momentos que la tecnología va más rápido que tú." So I'll translate that. Do you feel that sometimes that the tech and the technology is moving faster than you? And you just happen to talk about that.
Yeah. It's a challenge. It's also a challenge to choose. Sometimes you can choose, and others you can't. Like the ones you can't, you just do. With the ones you can choose, you have to prioritize, and that's a super thin layer between like a success and failure. It's not very easy to be able to say that's noise, that's not noise, that's mandatory, that's not mandatory. What do we do? So yeah, that's a huge challenge. Uh,
Yeah.
Getting behind, I'm not scared, but it's something that I have to have under my view all the time.
what I find messy or complicated or challenging of your business is that you're the middleman because you depend on the technology integration and features by giants like Mercado Libre,
Yes.
Falabella. Let's just say they're 70% of my online business. I don't see them being as good companies in terms of communicating with lesser size merchants. So if they decide to alter a feature in their tech stack, I don't see them, hey Matias, I'm about to change ABC, is that okay? I see them just going, changing whatever they want, and then the customers and the other side realizing that there has been an issue, reporting to Multivende and the customer support, hey, this is what's happened. And then you finding out, not because of the communication from your tech partners, but from your customers, that there is an issue. And I feel that's something that is out of control. So if I'm you
Yeah.
and I can't control that, I have a team of developers for support, but then my team is focused more on growth. My team is focused on the next sales channel, on more new features. So, you have a limited resource, limited budget. You haven't raised external funding. That's your decision.
Yes.
But I think that's the challenge, and that would make me lose sleep at night because I feel you don't control much what's next. Am I wrong with that
Yes.
assumption?
Yes and no, because we have several cases. With some channels, we have a quite good relationship, and we just build together. I mean, every day is super messy.
Give us names.
With Mercado Libre, we have backlogs together for years already, and we say, okay, in 2 quarters ahead, like by the end of
Yeah.
the year, we will launch fulfillment by whatever. So
Okay.
let's build that together from now to the end of the year. That doesn't take out the mess of every day. The bugs, bad implemented features, infrastructure problems. That's part of the deal. I think that as an entrepreneur, you have to choose what mess to clean every day. I mean, if you love fulfillment, you will have to deal with, I don't know, drunk driver who didn't arrive in the morning to pick the packages. If you love that, do that. I prefer to deal with the servers not running. Okay, so the messy part is part of the deal. That's it. But with some of them, we were able to find ways to work together. And also another important thing is that every channel has different level of maturity. You have Mercado Libre with
Sure.
20 years, Amazon with
Yes.
20 or more as a marketplace, and you have Paris from Cencosud. They have 3 years or 4 years, I think. So it's normal that different maturity levels reaches different, results.
You mentioned Paris. I remember about a year ago, we were 6 months already in Paris Marketplace, and I got an email on Friday, 11:30 p.m. And I happened to be on the computer because the kids were sleeping. And the email says, change of commission. Change of commission, Friday, 11:30 at night. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe they're asking for a call to discuss new commissions. And it
No.
was, imagine it was Friday, 26th of April. It was Saturday, 27th of April. Here is the new table of commissions. And for my category, they were increasing commissions by not 0.5% of one. Some categories were 3 to 5%. 3 to 5% is sometimes my margin. Now at Friday 11:30 at night, I have 1,000 SKUs. To change the pricing on Friday night at 11:30 at night of 1,000 SKUs when the team already worked extremely hard, I just replied and saying, no problem, email received. And I messaged my team, please put all the stock on Paris Marketplace to zero. Not
Yeah.
interested in working
Yeah.
like this. But it just goes to show Paris is part of a giant in Chile called Cinco Sur. They've just overtaken the group of Falabella. We're talking about a $6 billion market cap. $6 billion. And they make decisions like that. It shows either how desperate they are or how the key management haven't taken marketplace that seriously. I think they're nervous and they're playing catch up to Mercado Libre and to Falabella. But something like that should never happen for a company at that level. Sorry, I just wanted to. You mentioned Paris, and that story came to my mind.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I was going to tell you, you mentioned that we are in between, in
Yes.
between the marketplace, the customer, etc. When a team start to heat up, you know, we are having a problem with the technology, and Paris says they're not them, or Mercado Libre, whatever. We know they're them. Let's talk together, but they're not answering. And what do we tell to the customers that are firing us and then sending thousands of emails? Why it is not working? I say, okay, stop. We have to understand something. First of all, we are in the same side of the table. First, with the marketplace, and when we are okay with the marketplace, we bring the customer to the same side of the table. We are not opposite positions. We are the same side because we all want to grow. We want the marketplace to grow. We want the customer to grow, and we of course wants to grow. So that's that when I try to calm down, because it's understandable that my team feels really pressured by myself too when something is not working. Because Multivende is and merchants, it's full operations. I mean, operations are 24/7. They can't stop. So when you have a problem that goes 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, like the truck is outside waiting for the packages, it's easier to get like a little bit angry. But you don't have to lose out of your sight that we are all in the same side of the table.
I think you should be on their side of the table. And let me elaborate. If I was the management of Falabella, Paris, or Ripley, I would make you an offer that would be too good to be true. And I would just bring you on board, bring your product on board, and immediately switch off the other two retailers' presence online. Because think about it, you have 400 customers in Chile, mentioning you said 7,000 brands. That's a sizable chunk of their business, especially in terms of their marketplace, especially if you're looking at Paris or Ripley. So if Paris or Ripley want to compete with Meli or Fala, I think it'd be easy to just make you an offer you cannot resist.
Yeah, just to tell you something, it's 400 clients in four countries already. So it's Chile, Peru, Colombia, and Mexico.
Even better.
So we went regional. Yes. Yeah, that will be taking ransom with the customer. I understand what you say. I think for everyone it's useful that multi-end exists. I understand your point for sure.
Yeah. So let me go into that a bit more. Uh, I mentioned that a retailer acquiring you would be one potential exit for yourself. Can you tell us a little bit about your cap table? You know, what's your ownership of the company? How many other investors do you have? And you know, what are
Yes.
their prospects of an exit?
Today I'm the sole owner of Multivende.
100%?
Um, yes. Yes. Yes.
Wow.
Today is 100%. Yes.
Wow.
We haven't deleted. That's a long story, but I decided to not to raise that much money. I raised what you could call like a friends, family, and fools money in the beginning. We paid that back to everyone with the same cash flow of Multivende. And now when we need to do something that we don't have cash for, we go to the bank and we ask them for money. We try to do smart things that pay off by themselves. Uh, that not doesn't not it doesn't always work perfectly, but we try to do that. And potential exits, actually, I try to not to think too much about that because for me it was always the same thing. Like if I want to build a business for the future, that it's a good business and it lasts for a long time for me and everything. That's doing showing up every morning to do the job, and doing a good work with the customers and the merchant in this case. And if one moment in the future I want to be acquired, it's the same thing. I have to have a good business that works by itself, growing steadily over the years with a good market and good customers and good relationships. So I try to do that, and I will ask myself, what do I do in the future when it's the moment? For now, I have been contacted by a couple of VCs. Maybe in the future I will talk about with them again. Acquisitions one time, but kind of it wasn't warm just to look around. But yeah, I think today Multivende works grows every year, and that's the point of a business.
Sure. Do you have positive EBITDA? Are you month on month profitable?
Yes,
Oh,
yes, I
great.
have positive EBITDA, so that gives me a runway of whatever it takes. I don't know, as long as things doesn't change that much. Ukraine, Russia, the world, and COVID and whatever. We live in messy times. Really hard to predict what's going to happen two
Got it.
days from now. But in regular terms, we have cash flow to do stuff and to grow.
Great. So you're positive cash flow. You have a software as a service business, which means you have high margins. You are the sole owner, owning 100% of the business, and you're able to get bank financing in these markets at these level of interest rates. So if Paris or Ripley do acquire you, I will take my 2% cut. I will send you a bill, or you can finance my next holiday. That's awesome. I really think you've built a solid business, and I nothing but congratulations. Let's move on. Let's move on from Multivende. Uh, let's talk about AI. Artificial intelligence, generative AI. We all saw Elon Musk and thousand other people with their letter, asking to slow down because we're going to be, Skynet, Terminator 2 type scenario. Where are you? What is your thinking of AI today? Do you sleep well? Is it taking over your job, or what are your thoughts on AI?
There's a lot of things to talk about AI. First of all, I think a very, very hard thing to do right now is to make the distinction between the music and the noise. I think AI is amazing. I think it opens huge opportunities, and it will be radical in the way that it changes a lot of things in our world. Uh, but I also think there is a lot of noise, and you have to be able to separate that to those two sides of the story.
What
I think
percentage
there are.
are you 70% music, 30% noise, 80/20? What ratio are you
No,
in?
no. I think it's 30% music, 70% noise. Especially with Chat GPT, it's very hard to make to see what's going to happen with ChatGPT in 2, 3, 10 years more. I follow Jan Lee Kuhn. It's one of the fathers of the AI. He's a French researcher that was doing some stuff that we see today, but in the 80s. And he's the head of AI in Meta, in Facebook. And he
What's his
said,
name?
"quote Jan Lee Kuhn. He's a French
Chanlico.
researcher.
Okay.
Yes, and he said before being worried about a god-like AI, we should try to get a dog-like AI. So that's a huge, huge challenge. First, like a dog AI. A dog is smarter, way smarter than ChatGPT for now. And so I think we have a lot of steps to give before being very, very scared. I mean, that's if you are not in an industry who is very, very challenged by AI as content generation. I think that's a really, really hard
Sure.
industry to be right now. Writers, designers, etc. Because it's not that they are not important at all; they are super important. But a lot of part who is very, very like a time consuming, it will be done like this. So that's super hard. And other industries will be less challenged. Right? Everyone will change. I think all industries will change, but some of them will change a lot more than others. So
Yeah.
it depends on who is listening to this podcast to think is my industry going to be challenged, and to what point?
Yeah, but the other argument is if I run a marketing or design company and now the current staff I have can do the work that much faster and are using ChatGPT for research or DALI for some ideas, they are more productive. If I have a company that's more productive, rather than just firing more people, I can get new customers and grow my business because their output is more per
Yes,
employee. So
yeah, that's true.
yeah.
Yes,
So, what are you following? Where are you getting newsletters of AI? Are you on Substack, Reddit? What are you using to get up to date?
I use a lot LinkedIn. I follow some guys like Jan Lee Kuhn and Stephen Wolfram. They are usually researchers. With them, it's who I learn with. I try
Uh,
to read a lot of papers and a lot of information from them. And in general, I use a lot of Reddit. I use Reddit a lot. I follow everything there, and there's a lot of news of everything there, like AI and also politics, etc.
Got it. I'm more of a Twitter guy. I get my news feeds from Twitter and podcasts, all in podcasts, things like that. Um, let's talk about Elon Musk. Is he a hero? Is he a villain for you? You're a techie.
Uh,
Is Elon a hero?
Uh, it's it. it's super hard to answer. I don't know if you have some ideas over that because I follow Elon Musk and I never know if he's a villain or a
I
hero.
think,
So maybe you can tell me.
I mean, I know he's villainified for, I don't even know if that's a word. I know he's hated for his handling of Twitter and firing of thousands of people. I think Twitter was what, 7,000 people, and now he's running it for with 1,000 people. I know he's lost advertisers and people hate him, but just look at SpaceX. I'm not even getting into Tesla and how he's saving the world, in terms of green, he's in terms of green and carbon emissions. I think this whole going to Mars and having a rocket that's going to go up there and colonize Mars, I think that in itself is a project worth, I think history is going to look back, and I hope he makes it. And I think, he's got with Starlink, the satellites that he sent to Ukraine. I think now the new Falcon X rockets, I believe 600 Starlink satellites can fit in. So once that's up and running by next year working, the whole world's going to have not free internet, whatever he decides, but it's going to be much cheaper than what we've got today. And then you add the tunnels, you add his Cybertruck. Uh, I don't know. For me, no matter how bad he is, no matter how much of a big ego he has, no
Yes.
matter how much he insults people on Twitter and his ego, buying Twitter was a mistake. It's gone from 40 billion to under, he thinks 22 billion. The market thinks it's under 10 billion. I think the guy deserves a crown. And does he have like 10 children? Something like that? Is
I
he
think
five?
seven.
Seven.
I think seven. Yes.
Yeah. So,
I don't know if he's done really much, but he has seven.
yeah, you know what,
I was going
Matthias?
to.
He's not perfect, but I think he's a hero.
Okay. I don't like one thing of Elon Musk. I appreciate and I admire him a lot, of course. But one thing that I don't love is that when you read Bill Gates, for example, it's another like a tech leader that changed the world. When you read a book from him, he will say something like, "Okay, I want to help to solve this problem. It takes a lot of people, a lot of effort, governments, researchers, normal people in the streets, and maybe me that I can help a little bit because I have all the money in the world, you know." When you read Elon Musk, is I will do that. Like I
Me,
think
me, me.
yes, I think his public figure because as a person he will be completely different, of course. His public figure is a little bit, a little bit, I think he feels maybe fairly that he can solve everything. But anyway, as you say, I think history will be kind with Elon Musk.
I think Bill and Melinda Gates, I think Jeff Bezos, I think Zuckerberg, they're all heroes. But God, if you read Twitter, there are millions of people who hate Zuckerberg and Bill Gates. The
Yes,
conspiracy
yes,
theories in America
yes,
about Zuckerberg and especially Bill Gates and financing, all the vaccinations and becoming richer in the last decade. He doesn't have the reputation of a Warren Buffett. I get that. Who's idolized and respected worldwide. But for me, Bill Gates, Zuckerberg, all of them are up there. But anyway, that's my
yes.
heroes. Can you tell us something about yourself personally? Do you see yourself retiring in Chile, or I believe your partner is from France? Do you see yourself going back to beautiful France one day? What are your thoughts of retirement? Do you wait for, like an FU money? Once I have fuck you money, once I have, I don't know, 20, $30 million in the bank, I'm leaving the country. What are your thoughts on retirement, and where do you want to retire?
Uh, I have two really opposite positions. Sometimes I wake up in the morning and I say I will not retire in no time. I love to work. I love to do new stuff. So if I can work and add value to forever, I will try it. And some other days I wake up and I say I want to go to a mountain. I want to retire to the wilderness. But I don't know. I will see. I think I will try. I will try to live day after day. Yeah, France for me. My wife is French. My kids are French too. So I will try to build an international life. Maybe I will not be. I will not have one country to live in. Maybe I will be moving between France and the U.S. and Chile and maybe I don't know. So I think I will try to step by step see if how is my will be confronted with my reality, and see how can I live a fulfilling, happy life for me and for the people around myself.
Got it. You mentioned happiness. Is that your definition of success? What to you is being
Yes.
successful?
For me today, happiness and time. I think that's it. Like if you are happy, I mean, of course, if you are healthy and you have some kind of life that allows you to be okay. If you are living the streets with nothing to cover your head, of course, it's very hard to be happy and to be successful, of course. But once you have covered the things that maybe you are healthy and you have some resources to live well, I think time it's amazing. The definition of success for me is time. Well, today I can drive my kids to school. I can sleep not that late. In the beginning with Multivende, I didn't sleep. I just worked. It was terrible for 4 years. Uh, it was extremely long work days, and it was extremely demanding, extremely. Uh, but today, I can drive my kids to school. If they are sick, I pick them. I bring them to the doctor. And for me, that's success. And also, of course, growing and being fulfilled at work, of course, and doing new stuff and growing.
Sure. No, but I think you hit on the nail. For me, time is essential. Being able to do what I want to do whenever I want to do it, like it's now 11 a.m., and instead of being in the office preparing for cyber, I'm here having a conversation with a friend, So I think that's
Yes.
key. Let's jump
I'm in the
into,
I'm in the beach.
yeah, you're in the beach. That's beautiful. Yeah. So you're more successful. That's even better. So let's I think we've spoken a little bit about multivende. We've spoken a little bit about your personal life and what takes you, your definition of success. Let's jump into a quick rapid fire. Yeah, I'm going to give you
Okay.
some questions, and if you can just tell me first thing that comes on your mind, that'd be great. Let's start. I give you $1 million. You have to invest it in Amazon or Google.
Amazon,
Amazon or Google? You said Amazon. Okay. I'm going to go for Google. Um, Tesla or Nvidia?
Nvidia.
Agree. Tesla is a bit at the value today and the amount of competitors coming
Yes.
up. And Nvidia is, in terms of AI, it's powering
Yes.
it. So Apple or Facebook? Sorry, Apple or Meta?
Apple, by far.
Apple?
Yes.
You don't believe in this metaverse that Zuck is creating?
My opinion in this, it's my idea. Of course, I don't know what's going on in Zuckerberg's head, but I think the metaverse maybe will work. But what's behind Meta? What's behind the metaverse decision is one fear that Facebook has a layer. It has a wall between Meta and the users. That is the hardware. Like if if Facebook if Meta, I'm sorry, if Meta doesn't control the hardware, he is like he can be cut in the middle. Today, Apple can do with AI, even with AI. Imagine that. How many times do you look at your phone every day? I mean, maybe 200 times.
Yeah, I
Like
do over 100.
okay, so they can look at your face over 100 times every day of your life. They know what you do, what you eat. They know when you go to the bathroom because you have your phone in your pocket and then you use it. So if you have that, you have billions of dollars in cash. You have researchers. You can do everything. It's not that you can like try to understand a little bit based on data or maybe a little bit on preferences. They have everything about you. They can create an avatar of yourself that knows everything based on the connect of the on the knowledge of you, like in your pocket, in your house. They have all that information. On the other hand, you have Meta that I think 2 years ago, I think yeah, 2 years ago, sales went down a lot because Apple decided to change their privacy policy, and an advertising policy. I think that was Apple saying, okay, I can cut, the current every time I want. I will go for the for the consumers directly. I have them. They have me in their phone, in their pockets, not in some server, whatever. Meta works in their pockets. So I would bet for Apple all the time. I don't know exactly if the decision is good, if because if the market already put that thoughts in the price today, maybe I don't know, the price will not go up as I think. But if I have to choose today, I would for the long term, I would put it on Apple, of course.
Yeah, I mean, you would think Apple has the trust, number one brand in the world, I would say. And Apple has $2.7 trillion market cap and what is it, 100 plus billion dollars in cash. But I'm going to go for Meta. I'm going to go for Meta. I'll tell you
Okay.
why. I think America, before the next election, is going to ban TikTok. And when that happens, I think Instagram is going to explode even further. I think Instagram is going to become smarter. It's going to have a lot of AI features, and I think it's going to be a winner. And I think even bigger than Instagram, I think WhatsApp.
Mm-hmm.
They acquired WhatsApp, right? Facebook owns WhatsApp.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. I think WhatsApp is going to be like WeChat in China, and WhatsApp is going to be the biggest payment, the wallet system in the world,
Mm.
and I think it's going to make Mercado Pago and the other wallets around the world less relevant. So I think Zuck's going to crush it. I really do. I think I know. Well, I don't know, but I think Elon's going to be the first trillionaire. But I think Zuck's going to be multiple trillion dollars. Last book you read and
Um,
enjoyed?
the World War II by Winston Churchill. It's an amazing book because
Oh
Winston Churchill
wow!
was the you know the yeah Winston Churchill was the prime minister of England for the World War II, and he
Yes,
had in their hand a quarter of the world. It was Winston Churchill, FDR, Hitler, and Stalin. So this guy, like, was the main character of the war, and he tells you about how was it, and it's amazing. It's an incredible guy. He has a strategic view in the future. He believes in things. He believes in democracy. He goes for it. Talk. He took. He he took really really hard decisions. And sometimes when I'm leading Multivende and I'm having a hard time, I say, man, like this guy
over.
was deciding for millions of deaths every day. He
Yeah.
would say,
What
I
what
will
would
do that.
Winston
I
do?
will do this. I will do this or that. I know millions of people will die, and I have to choose. So when I feel a little bit overwhelmed, I think I say, "Amen." You're not Winston Churchill.
Yeah. Wow. Well, did you watch the coronation of the king?
No, no,
No.
no.
Oh,
I didn't
okay.
watch it.
I forgot what book I was going to say, but after Winston Churchill, I better not say any book. Um, Exercise. Being in Chile over here, everybody either plays football like myself or goes to the gym. Which are you? Are you a gym guy or a football guy?
Neither. I'm a kickboxing guy. I practice
Oh wow.
kickboxing for a couple of years already. Yes. So I do it for fun. Sometimes I kick some guys' ass. Sometimes they kick mine. That's okay. We're all friends. I practice 2 or 3 times per week.
Wow.
I stopped for a couple of years when I created Multivende. I started my family, so it was super hard to go. But I have been doing it again for like almost 2 years already. It's amazing. I forget everything when I'm like fighting someone or learning a new move. That's amazing. I totally recommend it.
Yeah, I'll stick to football until the body can do it. But thank you. Uh, Final question: if I gave you advertising board in Times Square tomorrow, and you had to, in less than 10 words, post something that was going to be seen by millions of people around the world. I think I got this from, I don't know if it was Tim Ferriss or I don't know, some podcast I heard it and I liked the question. I haven't thought of a good answer for myself, but it doesn't stop me from asking you. What would those words be?
I don't know if I read them somewhere, but I would say like don't be afraid to live an incredible life. Don't be afraid to live an incredible life.
Don't be
Sometimes people
afraid to
like
live an incredible life. I like that.
yes,
Yeah.
like sometimes myself can be a little bit afraid of do do new things or try new things, and sometimes I feel myself like I could do more things, and why not? I mean, what to stick with a regular life or good life even if you can have an incredible one? So that's a good thing to aim for, I think.
I think Nike summarized that with 3 words, right? Just do it,
Let's do it.
right?
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
it's
one of the
bold.
best slogans in the
Yeah.
world. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, you just do it, and you just think of Nike. I don't know if it's the
Yes.
swoosh. I don't know if it's that Air Jordan logo, but they just keep doing it. Nike's marketing. Remember, did you hear what Giannis, the Greek freak? Do you watch the NBA?
No, I don't follow
No.
basketball.
I'll just tell you a quick story. So this best player in the league in the NBA happens to be from Greece, and he was number one out of 8 teams to advance to the next round, and they lost. They lost to Miami Heat. And at the interview, after the game, they do an interview. The interviewer asked him a question that he asked the same guy a year ago, because a year ago he also failed to go through and win the league. It's called the NBA championship, right? And he asked him, "Hey, you didn't win. Did you fail?" And last year he didn't know what to say, but this year he had a whole year to think about it. And he told the reporter, Eric, every year you work. Every year do you get a promotion? The guy goes, "No." He goes, "So did you fail?" He goes, "In sports, there are steps to success." And Michael Jordan played 15 years of NBA basketball and he won 6 rings. Does that mean for 9 years he failed? No, nobody associates Michael Jordan with a failure. So don't take it personal. But sports is not about failure. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. It's a process, and it's a step to success. And I didn't see it live, but the next day it was all over my LinkedIn. I was like, whoa, what's LinkedIn got to do with NBA stars? So it's
Mm,
just a beautiful answer. Really, I thought it was a beautiful
yeah,
answer.
very
Yeah.
visible. Yes.
Matthias, if the audience wants to reach you, I don't know if you have a Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. How does someone reach you?
I think the easiest way is LinkedIn. You can search me, Matías Barahona. I will show up. CEO of Multivende. My handle is Mabaraho, Mae Barao. If you want to look at me for my handle, but if you search me, I will show up, I think, first. So you can write me there if you want to connect, if you want to know something or tell me something that would be great. I think that's the best place to reach me.
All that's left is to say thank you. Like always, I enjoy talking to you. I love hearing your nuggets on e-commerce, and I hope to remain friends with you for a long time. Thank
I
you.
mean, the same for you. Thank you.
To my audience, thank you very much. You've just heard another episode of Direct to Chile, where we navigate the Chilean market and we speak to industry leaders about what it's really like to do business in Chile. I hope you enjoyed this episode with Matthias like I did. And do me a favor, hit the subscribe button and please share it with anybody who you think might be interested. To end, I want to thank my producers. I've not mentioned them in the shows earlier, Delfina and Salvador. Without them, I could not be doing this. They helped me with everything from design, editing, structuring the questions, and the editing of the sound and the video. And without them, I'm going to add their notes as well and their contact details in the bottom of the podcast if you want to reach out and do your own show. I highly encourage it. Thank you, and we'll see you in the next episode.